treacherous female is undertaking a journey. How dangerous.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the TransArt BWM-11, the motor spider inventor. This is their take on a very GONS TransMetal version of Tarantulas, and I think it's a pretty good looking figure. Overall, we're going to take a look at this thing, but I did get this from Showsim. I have a link down below where you can get yours, but let's take a quick look at this motor spider coming up. Take a quick look at the box, and it is cool looking art. You do see the spider web in the back, and yeah, cool stuff. Kind of like a reflective type of paint right there, printing. It looks cool because this is a very shiny figure overall in this TransMetal. I love the TransMetal. Gotta love the TransMetal. All right, taking a look at this figure right out of the package. He looks fantastic, and I like the vac metal that's on him. I do like the paint, and there's quite a few different paint apps in different colors. Kind of this neon green going on in there, some gold, which is of course different than the vac metalized gold, and then getting down to the different various colors that they used. Really nice, and it looks fantastic with the kind of level of burgundy that they used with there to the purples. Fantastic overall. Really nice looking. I think that the TransMetal part makes the most sense in Beast Wars, so that is my favorite era. Kind of wish I would have jumped on all of these right when they first came out, but I wasn't really sure if I was going to do Beast Wars much more. But I think this is probably the most exciting part about Beast Wars. I don't think Takara is going to touch this, so that is a good thing to have a whole company pretty much dedicating themselves to doing the TransMetal Beast Wars. Now, with him overall, let's go ahead and get a look at these accessories. He does come with some really cool stuff. He does come with these 3 little bugs, which are kind of cool, and they're little motorized drone bugs, I guess you could call them. And they have articulating legs. And then this one, just this one, no, you could do it on this other one too. You can put these pieces in here into this, but it's really, really small. It's kind of scary. It kind of almost feels like you could break it because it's so small, but you can put that in there, and then there's the bug with one of those, and then this guy can have one. Yeah, like that, little grabbers. All right, and then this guy can have one, a second one. Yeah, it's a scary because you feel like you're gonna break them, but it is kind of cool. They included all this. Those are nice little add-ins that definitely work. Then he has this little gun that actually does sort of. It has a tab on each side. So you can put it in either hand however you want. It does spin. It works, and it is going to actually, I think, double in the other mode for another wheel. So that's going to be kind of cool for his motor mode. But anyway, yeah, there's the accessories. They all work. For articulation on this guy, standard ball joint on the head. That works just fine. Kind of move these side pieces here. He's got a ball joint on the shoulder. Doesn't go as far because of all the stuff he's got going on. And then as for the bicep, he's got a good bicep swivel to it. And then this piece will kind of move along with it. And then double jointed at the elbow for some crazy elbow action. He's got 3 fingers that are all articulated on his wrist and his wrist moves. So he can do quite a bit of stuff in there. And of course the hole for the gun on the other side. Waist swivel, not really an ab crunch, but his waist will give you pretty much everything you'd need for him for posing. And then there is to the side, no ratchet, just a ball joint. And it's tight, so it holds, and it's got to kind of be tight to hold up all this stuff going on in his backpack, which it works fine. And then, so that's no movement there, but you can rotate the knee like this all the way around, 360 if you wanted to, and then single joint on the knee to there. That works fine. And then all this stuff going on with the foot side to side and up and down, and it feels pretty tight. I do wonder on these joints, because they're really tight right now, if you mess with it a lot and transform it a lot, would it hold up? I don't know. I mean, we haven't had long enough to know. All right, here he is next to Takara's Black Arachnia that looks good together, and that's kind of, I don't know, Thinkers Thieves that we had going on there in the show. Then we've got Dinobot. Can we get that all in the frame? There is Dinobot. He's a big boy. I guess you kind of don't realize how big these guys are. Dinobot and them. This is the original TransMetal 2 Megatron, so they are about the same size. Of course, this guy should be towering over him in reality there. And a quick For the Royalty comparison. Alright, let's get this guy transformed up. Let's take this off of here. So we can untab the arms and these pieces. And that's the first thing we want to kind of get out of the way there. Then we're going to untab the chest piece and this piece here and pull it forward like so. Then we're going to fold these pieces up. Oh, let's get this up and out of here. There we go. That's how that's going to work. Get that up. And then we're going to fold the head down into here. And this is going to come up. And don't really have the tip of that on the screen there, but it still kind of gets the job done. And then we are going to come around here to this waist piece and flip it around. And then we need to do something with these guys right here. Folding this up into a wheel. Like that. And then you're going to rotate the wheel and tab it in to this. So, there we go. And then of course it gets used later on, so. Alright, now we need to do some other fun stuff. We can fold this part forward, make the legs straight. Right there. Not sure if there should be a tab for that. Shouldn't there be a tab for that? No tab for that. Okay, anyway. Now we need to do something with the arms and the legs. So we're going to untab the leg and fold them over, and then they're going to retab in right here. And then we're going to have to do a lot of stuff with the other legs. Same thing over here. We're going to untab that and then fold it over and tab this in right here. And got to make sure you get a secure tabbing. Now I'm always worried about this because this is tabbing into vac metal, so that's of course going to be a point of contention. There are multiple joints on this to get it lined up right, so it should all look, there we go. That's all tabbed in just right. And then for the legs, there are notches here and tabs right there. So you got to get that tabbed in too, so that you get it all secured, more or less. Not sure if I can get that on the camera, but it's what's happening underneath there. All right, flipping this around to the back side, we are going to rotate things around to where we can sort of get this to fit like that. We're going to move the arms into place. And then it's kind of one of those things, you're going to be tucking this joint in, and you're just going to be tucking everything in as it goes until you can get it to where you can tab this in. There's tab here. I really think it's all tabbing in with one tab to make that look good. So on the other side, we're going to flip around this and make it look right. Right-ish. Ha. And then we're going to get around to this side. I think it's easier to visualize the putting it in. I don't know. You got to kind of do a little bit on each side here to get it in. And you just got multiple joints in here trying to almost work against each other to get it in there. There it goes. And we're almost there. And then tab that in. And then we need to get the legs down and into place. And for the most part, we're done. A couple things might come untabbed here and there. So when you're done, just go around and tab everything back in. And I think we're pretty much there. One last step on this, and if you're watching, you're just like, duh. But I didn't realize you're going to have to literally rotate all 8 of the legs. So you want them to look like this, and they look like this, and you rotate them, just, I guess, extend them, rotate them on this mushroom peg, and then pull them down into position, or like this. So each one like this. Fun stuff, a little tedious, but yeah. Then we're gonna take a look at this guy. And here he is in his beast mode, and it is stunning. I remember when I first saw Tarantulas, I thought, what the heck, there's just a lot going on with that character. And same thing with the beast mode. When I saw his beast mode, I was like, man, that's a lot going on with that beast mode. And I want to say this is very beautiful. I gotta also admit that all the back metal is very visible in this mode, and I do love that deep or kind of a orangish gold that they used, but it's actually looks a little different on these than on these, so that's even an interesting color breakup with that. And then the legs are very strong, support it very well. There is a little bit of die cast like right here, which I didn't talk about that in the bot mode, and also I didn't talk about how these could have been used as looking like guns or something, and if that's a thing. And this back piece still kind of spins. One thing I'm having a little trouble with is where it tabs into the back metal. It kind of wants to pop out a little bit, but when you get it in there pretty good, and then you're just gentle with it for the most part, it holds just fine. So this figure does feel relatively solid in this beast mode, but it is very striking. It's one of those things where you start getting used to looking at just the standard Beast Wars stuff coming from Takara, and then you get this TransArt. This is art, by the way. When you get this back metal, it is more appealing. And the back metal, the TransMetal 2 stuff was always more appealing to me back in the day. I always felt like it fit better, sort of like Dinobots. So we will compare this to a Dinobot. Looking fantastic. And let's go ahead and look into what other paint apps we can see. That neon green carries over in here also. We do have some silver, kind of like some mechanical stuff going on over here, and not much on the legs. They're just bare bones plastic for the most part. And then this here, now there is a little bit of articulation. If you want to mess with this, you can get a little articulation out of these because they are connected to the hips. The hip bone is connected to the biting bone. But yeah, pretty cool overall. And the bottom is pretty clean too. Not really a whole lot. I mean, it almost, you can't tell it's a bot under there, right? Well, there's a fold-up hands and stuff. But yeah, really cool overall. I do like it. Let's do a quick comparison to a few other things. So this is my only second TransArt. I started with Rat Trap, and I want to say Rat Trap's pretty decent. He's an okay figure. Probably, I like this one better than the Rat Trap. Although I don't dislike the Rat Trap at all. I think it's a beautiful figure. I just think this feels a little bit better than the Rat Trap felt. And the transformation actually on this is almost quite intuitive. There's a couple of things if you didn't know, you didn't know. But for the most part, most of it is intuitive. There's a Takara Cheetor. What a cheater. Don't cheat. But yeah, there it is. I wish I would have picked up the TransMetal Cheetor. Did they make one? This is Pterosaur. Now this wasn't really trying to be like a TransMetal or anything, but I think it was Metagate. I'd have to go look it up who did this Pterosaur, but it's a nice looking Pterosaur. But it has a bit of a metallic look to it, even though it's not TransMetal. It's no vac metal like this, but yeah, there's weight and heft and stuff die cast in it, and this has some weight and heft and die cast, but that's still heavier. And the KO oversize of the Masterpiece Grimlock, and this is the stainless steel version. I think they look good together, and then just kind of you see that this is how I felt Beast Wars should have been back in the day. And then we got this, which was pretty close, But now looking back on it, it's a whole lot of fun no matter what. Now for his motoring mode, or something along those lines, kind of, is this where it gets the name Motor Spider? So we're going to tab this, and then we're going to flip this around like so. And I want to make sure that I got it on the right side. Or is it the same thing on either side? There's going to be this little tab here that you fold down right here. I don't know if I got that on there. Is the light even picking that up? There's a tab right here. Folds down. And then there's a notch right there. So you want to line this up with a notch that I can't quite, because there's so much going on, can't quite get it. And then that should give it a little bit of stability to hold in place. That's how that works. Then we get over here, and you want to put these two tabs in between the insides of the knees. And you want to have this handle to be kind of the reinforcement. I believe that's how it's supposed to work. That's my belief, and I'm sticking with it. And it seems like one side goes in better than the other, but once you get it in, it would kind of hold. Hard to do like this on camera. In fact, well, there it goes. But still, a little tricky. It's a little tricky. And then when you do that, this top stuff here is going to probably untab a little bit. So you just got to tab all that back in. And then you're in your motor boatin' mode. And with this, you do kind of want the legs to be a little bit off the ground. And so he'll teeter a little bit. And then you can get him to sort of semi-roll. You don't want him 100% supported by the legs. There he goes. There he rolls. Sort of. It would fully roll if you got the legs all the way up. But it's a thing that they did in the show. Now it's a thing you can do with this guy if you want to. I never really liked these kind of motor modes that they had. I know it was in the show, and just like they did the same thing, they made sure that gimmick was still in there with the rat trap, and they made sure it's in there with this one, and it's cool. And for this one, it really wasn't that intrusive. It didn't really change transformation a crazy amount. But the biggest thing is that they had to make sure they had this wheel. So they engineered that in. But aside from that, pretty cool. Gets the job done if you're happy with some sort of a motor mode. Alright, so this is my look at the TransArt Motor Spider Inventor BWM-11. Did they make 11 of these already? I think it's a pretty good figure. Overall, it's a very solid figure, very good representation of the character. The transformation isn't really that bad. They got some cool little gimmicks with it. Price point at like 80 something, $90, something like that, for a masterpiece scale figure with diecast, with vac metal, with paint. And it's one of those things that it's almost a niche market because it's not just Beast Wars, but it's Beast Wars TransMetal, and with that, I mean, there's less and less chance that you'll ever see Takara making something like this. But anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I do have a link down below where you can get this at Show Z. TH reviewer code if you want to help me out. Like, subscribe, and talk to you, hanger out.
Attention all Predacons. Pull yourselves together. Our situation has altered.
You foolish spider. Let's see if playing my shield will improve your sense of reason.